Welcome to the What's Your Truth podcast, the show that not only showcases the best of independent artists, but also explores what inspires them, what drives them, and what they consider their fundamental purpose as an artist to be. Today on the show, we have Mel Alston Jr. Sweet and soulful, deep and delicious, Mel is a Philly native that brings all the attitude and style of his hometown into the world of R&B and rock in a way that satiates every artistic appetite and fulfills every sonic need. His lyrics are deep and inspired, and his music arrangements are nothing short of aesthetic excellence. A singer and a multi-instrumentalist since childhood, and with an impressive 7 releases under his belt in the past 4 years, Mel is a true force to be reckoned with as independent artists go. He's currently working on his next album, hopefully due out sometime in early 2023, and set to be produced by Cairo Marquez Nato. He's also opened up for the likes of Nelly, Jay Sean, and Kindred, the Family Soul, and he's played countless venues around Philly, including music festivals, local bars, weddings, and the prestigious Wells Fargo Center. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the hardest working man on the Philadelphia music circuit, Mr. Alston Jr.
My man, appreciate you.
Yeah, man. Welcome. Glad to have you
here. Yeah, man. Thanks for having me, Johnny.
Yeah, awesome. Man. It's absolutely my honor. So let's roll into it, shall we?
Let's do it.
Awesome, man. So the first question I got for you, Mel, is how did you decide that you wanted to become a musician?
Well, I think I give a lot of it to my mother. Like she was always, because I was a middle child, so I had a younger brother and an older brother. So my mom, she always had us involved in like different kind of camps, whether it be like swim camps, summer camps, Boy Scout camps, things of that nature. So she always tried to keep us involved with things. So she would try us with art, science, music, and just see what things that we would kind of pick up. So I started like at the age of 6 with a piano teacher. And from there, then I went to trombone, and then I went to trumpet. But I really wasn't, I guess, more so motivated for the music at that time. It wasn't until later when I really started to sing, when, because like with instruments, like you play the notes and things of that nature, but when you sing, it's kind of more free. So at the time, I would really only sing. I must have been about 7 or 8 at the time. Like I would more so sing when I was home alone, and just kind of like made sure no one would hear me. I was kind of shy about it, but that's so like I think like around 7 or 8 is when I really started to sing.
Right on, man. And then what was the first experience you remember having with music, like at all?
First experience, like you mean creativity or
any experience with music, period. Like when you became aware of music at all.
Oh, okay. I feel like growing up, Michael Jackson, I think like around the time when like Beat It came out, and Thriller, because I was very much into like horror movies as a kid, because I had like a lot of uncles. So they was into like kung fu movies and horror movies. So like there's a lot of Shaw Brothers going on, things of that nature. But yeah, I would say having a lot to do with that, growing up as a kid.
Hell yeah, man. Awesome. And then who are the biggest influences on your work, and why?
The biggest influence. I think the biggest influences is just the creation of music in general. Now, growing up, it was of course Michael Jackson, Donny Hathaway. Like I think a lot of it growing up too has to do with like the music that your parents had. So like we had like the Commodores, Quincy Jones, Barry White, John Coltrane, So like it was a lot of jazz and R&B. And then it wasn't really till I graduated from college when I started getting into like a little more rock and funk and things of that nature. So yeah, man, it's definitely been a journey.
Yeah, no, for sure. But I love too that you got to start out with like jazz in terms of your influences, because man, there's so much. Jazz and blues are the foundation of so much.
Yeah.
True. That's so great. So great. All right. And then what's the weirdest thing that's ever inspired you?
Oh, weirdest thing. Okay. There was this movie came out years ago called The One that starred Jet Li. So like the concept was pretty dope in that Science had discovered it was all of these different dimensions. So it was all these different versions of Jet Li in all of these different dimensions. But one of the Jet Lis in one of the dimensions was like, well, I'm gonna just cancel out all of the other ones, and it'll only be me. So like that weirdly made me think of music in a way like, well, wow, what if it was like all these different versions of me in these different dimensions, where it's like one version of me is probably doing this kind of music and one's kind of doing this kind of music, and what if it was a kind of play that I could do on that and like a style of a presentation, so to speak. So that inspired like a lot of ideas with like different styles of music and kind of blending things and seeing which different ways that they could potentially be promoted and things of that. Things of that.
Right on, man. I love that though, and the thing that's cool about that is there's a lot of visual to get out of that too. Like just visually, that's
Right.
really cool. Like to paint that picture with music just sounds awesome.
It is. It's like, then you like maybe meet a version of yourself, and you're like, well, I do this kind of music. I do it.
That sounds like that sounds like a movie plot, man. That sounds like you could do a
Yeah.
movie with that. So great. So how has your art influenced other people?
Other people. I think in times like these, I think a lot of it is just motivating people, because I think a lot of people are artistic, and they may not realize it. So like a lot of times I look at myself as just more so of an example to just do it, man. Just see where it takes you. Like a lot of it is like a journey, anyway. And then you're bringing creativity, artistic quality, things of this nature, like things from your soul. So just to, put it out in this, in the atmosphere, and just see what happens. So like a lot of times I just look at myself as, I just, continue to do it. Just see what happens. See how it motivates people, and vice versa.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I mean, that's one of the great fundamental lessons is like persistence and like you can do anything you want. You just got to keep working on that. And I mean, that's what I
Yeah,
love about you too. I mean, just in the last 4 years, how much you've done. I mean, that's a testament to everything you just said. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
appreciate it.
And certainly the last few years have given people every reason in the world to not be productive and to quit and to not do the things that matter. And
Yeah,
I
that's,
just love that you persisted through all that, man. That's so huge.
that's true. That's true, man. And shout out to all of the people who have lost loved ones. During like this difficult time with everything going on, and just even through that, like a lot of people had just really really started their journeys, and then had that kind of a setback. So like it's a testament to those who continue to try, just keep doing it. Like you're definitely here for a reason, and there's no sense in sitting back. Just keep pushing through it. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. So true. Man, I'm really glad you said all that. That's so important for people to
Yeah.
get.
So,
So, do you have any pre-show or pre-studio rituals?
oh wow. Well, I always stretch. I make sure I stretch. Definitely warm up. But like ritual wise, there's like a kind of like a nose breathing ritual that I do, kind of like, so the kind of like a relaxing kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Just to ease like the nerves like a little bit, loosen up, stuff like that. Like, like I'm about to go out on the football field or something like that.
You got to limber up, right?
It's like, let's go. All right.
That's awesome. So, what risks, if any, have you personally taken for the sake of your music?
Uh, I think, yeah, risk is such an interesting word, because it's like you think of it, you say risk, you say you risk your time, but is it really a risk? Like, but like I would say, more so like monetary. And,
Sure.
I think the biggest thing for artists would be like monetary. I feel like where you like you work, because like most of us, like I still work 60 hours a week. To still do what you gotta do. You
Um,
know what I'm saying? So you still work, and just like, when you have that time, put it into it. You know what I'm saying? So like I have family, like I'm married, I have a beautiful daughter, a beautiful wife. So it's like every, second away, it's just like, man, let's make it count. You know what I'm saying? So,
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. So I would say that more so like monetary time, time, what I mean, like away from family a little bit at times. But I've been blessed to be able to have like everything I need to be able to do what I need to do, for the most part. So, it's
That's
more so, yeah, but so more so time and money.
makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's, it's cool though too that you make all that work. I mean, like you said, you do what you got to do, and it's like anything else. No one said this was easy,
Right.
right?
Right.
But it's so worth it, and it's so great that again that you make all that work. I mean, that's such a big deal, man.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I mean, it's. I mean, it's almost like a microcosm of just like us in general. It's just like human beings being here. It's just like so many, different kind of relationships that we have. Whether like your brother, your uncle, your son, your sibling, and then you got like your work relationships, the user relationships, and everything. Is like
Mhm.
it's so much unity. It's so much going on. It's so much, so many working parts going on at the same time.
Yeah, no, it is, and it's a major juggling act, but it's great to see you actually making that work, and that itself is a great example and a great lesson.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, yeah. So, what's the craziest risk you've ever seen another artist take for their craft?
Wow, crazy issues. I would say the craziest is, huh. I'm a level with you. Like a lot of the artists that I've been around, I feel like that's a question for me to ask because, not too many people talk outwardly about. Because I'm pretty sure like a lot of money has been lost to people, because there's a lot of like janky promoter stuff still going on to this day.
Sure.
That I think with like the internet and different social media sites, there's still uh, the ability to create like an illusion of someone who could really help you do something, and then like you put some money out. Well, all right, this all looks legit. Like there's a website and everything. All right,
Mhm.
let's send some bread, just 500, just whatever. And it's like, hold on, so it's been a few weeks. Then you go to the website, stuff disappearing. So it's like you definitely hear about, you know, different situations, whether it be shows or like festivals and things of that nature. So it's like I think it's all like a risk in a sense too as well, where it's like people go all in on it, and it's like maybe like the festival's canceled or something like that. And it's like maybe like there's an event where like some like big name was used to really get people to drive out there, and then like something happens, and so it's all. I mean, it's definitely something that you like meditate on, like you pray on. It's just like you just hope things go through the way that you would want it to, but you still got to be geared to towards things not and be like, all right, well, let's hit this next one.
Yeah, no, totally, and it's true. Like it's not easy to know who to trust out there. Sometimes, like you said, there's a lot. It's easy for somebody to mock up like they're something they're not with the
Right,
internet.
right,
Well, that's so true.
yeah.
So, what's one thing about you that would shock everyone to know?
Um, I think okay. I have like a so like growing up as a kid, one of my neighbors across the street, his family was like kind of like jokesters, so to speak. So they would always have jokes and things of that nature. So they was like pretty like very much into comedy. So they would always film like the comedy show or rather like record like the comedy shows that they've seen. So like my friends used to let us watch the tape. So I used to always kind of like imitate comedians and things of that nature growing up, and like it was always something that I kind of like and enjoyed. So like sometimes when I'm around people, um, I might like imitate somebody like who I like kind of like admired growing up as a kid. I'm like, I didn't know you can imitate people. So it was like, yeah, that's kind of how I got through growing up as a kid because I had like a pretty bad speech impediment when I was a kid.
Oh, no
So
kidding.
like for me, yeah. That's how I kind of got by a little bit when I was around people, like to kind of make them laugh. Well, all right, let me imitate this person because if I start talking in my regular voice, we'd be here all day. I was like, man, so let me imitate this dude, imitate that, person to make some people laugh so I could, kind of like participate in it.
That's so great, and it's cool. Like you took a kind of a tough situation, and not only you figured out a way to help yourself, but you made other people laugh too. That's so awesome.
Yeah, that's why that what's the comedian from Philly? Kevin Hart.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why like one of his stand-ups was so funny because the title was like "Laugh at My Pain" or whatever. And you know what I mean? I think that's what I like. A lot of comedians are like really good at being able to show that, you know. So, but yeah, like growing up, I was really big into like comedy, um, video games. Like I'm still a gamer.
Yeah.
I still play Destiny a lot. So if there's any Destiny fans, yo,
Awesome.
man, who'd have known video gaming would have got so big, man? Like I used to play video games in my dorm. So like some of the kids would like stop by and just watch me play. And it's like back then, I wouldn't have thought like, well, man, maybe I could have been charging y'all $10, $15. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what they doing now.
Well, dude, are these guys that go on and they start a YouTube channel just showing them playing games, and they're making 6, 7 figures off their AdSense revenue? It's insane.
Seriously, man. I got nephews that just sit there on YouTube watching people play the game. I'm like, man, who'd have thought? Like, it's like man, my mom wasn't thinking like that. I could have like, bling, I'm a millionaire in 2003.
Yeah, right. Now my mom was like, "Get your ass outside. You've been on the game enough."
How about it? You don't money playing that. Put them joysticks down.
That's right. So, what's one thing or one tool that you absolutely cannot live without as an artist, and why?
One tool I can't live without. My voice.
Fair point.
How about it?
It's a good one. That's one that I haven't heard yet, so that's definitely a good
My voice. That's the instrument. That's my main instrument. How about it?
Yeah, and it's interesting. I'm cool. I like that you refer to it as an instrument because it really is. I mean, I feel like that gets lost on singers sometimes. That your voice, your body becomes your instrument when you're a singer. It's actually pretty intentional that way.
That's true, man. It's like your own like patent like frequency, so to speak. Like
no, it's true.
Sometimes if it's too much going on, you know. But like that's the beauty of like the acapella too. Like we just you got everything going on. It's like, oh man.
Oh, dude, some of that stuff is mind blowing. Some of that acapella stuff, absolutely blows my mind. So, what has been the most difficult piece of music for you to create, and why?
Difficult piece. Wow, that's interesting. I think sometimes music that's very emotionally attached could be difficult sometimes. Because like you might, depending on how attached you are to it, you might like shed a few at times. Like, man, I don't know if I'm able to finish this. Like what what if I'm performing this and I can't finish it?
Yeah. No,
so
for sure.
yeah. So I think sometimes songs like those outside of that, I think in general, like my writing style, sometimes is like different because some songs you want to be right, some songs kind of just flow, and then some songs I feel like I've been writing for years, and then you know I might be, you know, the first verse came out fast, and then the second verse I'm like halfway through, I'm like this kind of works but it doesn't, but then you know, I mean, I'm sure, you know, as an artist you could be in the middle of one song not done and then another idea come, and then you kind of off on this, you're like, man, let me stick to this journey, but you off here. So it's
No, it's true. I've had that happen too, and it's like you get a really good idea, you got to follow it, man. I mean, you have to. 100%. All right, man. Well, I got a fun question for you now. If you were going to write a book about your career up to this point, what would you title it?
Oh wow. The day after forever.
I like that. Hell yeah, man. That's a great title. I like that a lot, actually. Right on. And then what are your plans for world domination?
Wow. My plans for world domination.
I know you got them.
Oh man. Plans for world domination. I mean a little bit what we talked about earlier. Add some cinematic elements to a lot of the future projects that I'll be doing. I really haven't done like a lot of videos lately. Like we've been kind of fine tuning some things and like doing some kind of sample shots to kind of figure out like a different direction that we're going to go to keep things like a little more cinematic. So definitely be on the lookout for that.
Hell yeah. Awesome, man. And then I have one more question for you before we end off. And just to kind of reorient to the introduction I did when we first got on here. So
Cool.
This show is not only to showcase the best of independent artists, it also explores what inspires them, what drives them, and what they consider their fundamental purpose as an artist to be. So Mel, what's your truth?
My truth is geared in balance, really. Just like understanding that to just monitor like your expectations in life and just continue to put out good energy and not to not like expect from people, but just to put the energy out and to just have a good time, just enjoy life. I think we are very original beings just in general, to be able to create like the way that we do and to be able to be, empathetic, like compassionate for other people. It's like, not everybody can do that. Like it's actually like a gift, to be able to feel, to feel in that way. So I'll say my truth is just to be the best version of yourself that you could be. Like you're not in competition with anyone else really but yourself. Like, you know what I mean? To look at yourself from yesterday, like, all right, I could beat that, you know what I mean? But not that person over there. Like they're going through their own, issues, whether or not, it's fancy lights around them or not. But you know what I mean? But yeah, man, it's to be the best version of yourself that you could be.
That's awesome, man. I love that. What a great way to end off to. Seriously, that's really beautiful, man.
I appreciate it.
Such a great lesson. Yeah, man, you are just full of like the knowledge that everyone needs to hear right now. I feel like
I appreciate it, man.
Very sage things that you're saying here, and it's just beautiful, man. So thank you so much for being on the show.
Man, thanks for having me, man. I just appreciate that you even thinking of me, man. Like this is a great venture, that you're doing. Like I'm glad I'm like in the beginning of it. So I said, yeah, man, I remember when.
That's right. You're the OG now. You're officially the OG when we get to that point. But before we do end off, I did want to give you 60 seconds. If there's anything you wanted to plug, just 60 seconds of everything Mel Alston Jr. Fire away.
All right. Mel Alston Jr., a.k.a. Mr. Alston, a.k.a. Mellows. Definitely be on the lookout for new music. Currently, we got Blowing in the Wind available in all stores. So definitely check that out. Purchase it whenever you get a chance. And that's just the first single released from my next project that'll be coming out sometime in the fall, so definitely be on the lookout out for that as well. So check me out at textmel.com, textmel.com. Fill out your info so I can keep you updated on all the new music and everything coming out in the future. Let's make it epic.
Right on, man. I love that. And it's going to be an epic 2023 for you and for a lot of people, I think. I think a lot of people are really waking up and coming out of hibernation after the whole last 3 years. I'm excited for you, and I'm excited to see what the future holds. So again, thanks for being here, Mel. And for everyone watching, this has been the What's Your Truth podcast. We'll see you on the next episode. Later.
Peace.
Yeah, you follow your own rules and you preach them on to me. But you don't think before you act, and you ain't got no business with me. No. But tell me what's your truth? Oh, what's your truth? Now you got down on your